Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tuesday Night Live podcast from the range with your host, John G. Johnson.
Hey, good evening, folks. It's John, the firearms instructor, and welcome to Tuesday Night Live here at the range. Hope you're having a wonderful day. I know I am, because I'm with you guys this evening. Thank you very much for being here. Go ahead and give me a comment, somebody. Make sure you can hear me pretty well, and make sure everything is coming through loud and clear. I would appreciate a comment from somebody, maybe a thumbs up or anything else like that. Will help me out tremendously to see that we are live and you can hear me. We are live on Facebook. We are live. Here are Christopher, Gavin, Heidi. Be nice. What do you mean, be nice? Teve. I'm sorry, Tezve Verna. I may have got that. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, well, this evening we've got a pretty good show. I want to talk to you a little bit about what we got coming up here in the next couple of weeks. We've got a lot of the people that are on our call are not from our local area. They're from other areas. And we actually have a free webinar coming up. And that free webinar is in regards to the online non-resident concealed carry. Now, this webinar is going to give you the rules, the regulations. It's going to tell you why you want it. It's going to give you all the bells and whistles. And if you want to sign up for it, we actually going to have a course that we're going to do. And you're going to be able to get all the information. Pretty easy and simple. I've done this a couple times before. Florida allows a non-resident to get up to 30 states to carry in for a very economical price. Everything can be done online. You don't need to come to Florida for anything. Even with our shot requirement, we're going to give you a documentation that you fill out. You're going to take it to the nearest range. You're going to put 5 rounds down range. You're going to turn that into us, and we're going to get you everything you need to apply for your permit in the state of Florida. Why do you want your concealed carry in the state of Florida? Due to the fact that Florida allows a non-resident to carry in 30 states. That means you can protect yourself in your home, your car, your boat, your RV, your hotel room, or anything that you travel in as you're traveling throughout the United States. Very simple to apply, very easy to get. Most people will get these permits back within 4 to 6 weeks, and it's good for 7 years. Cost factor really is our class is $74.95 once you decide you want to do it, and you're going to owe the state of Florida about $97. And without that, I think that calculates after the 7 years like 38 or 39 cents a day to protect you and your family throughout the United States. Is pretty good. If you're interested in this evening and you've been watching this live, you can always say, I'm in, and I'll send you the link to sign up, or it's going to be in the descriptions below. It's not hard. It's very easy to get, and it does give you a lot of states you can carry in. You know that New York, New Jersey, and all the crazy area in California, Washington State, those are pretty much off limits, but the rest of the United States would be there. So having one in your vehicle or your car, that does not give you buying power unless you own property in Florida, brick and mortar home, but it does give you the ability to carry. So that's one of our things. We're starting this webinar on the 24th, which is a Saturday. It's going to go for 22nd at 5 p.m. And all it is about an hour's worth of your time, but it tells you exactly what you need to do to get your concealed carry in the state of Florida. All right, let's get that off the screen there. Let's go back to me. We have a pretty good show this evening for you. I pulled up some stuff. We have the beta group. I told you guys about our beta class we had a couple weeks ago. We started it 2 weeks ago. We're in the third week. and those guys are doing wonderful. And I'm using some of the drills that we used in the beta class to tell you about it. We've been talking a lot about sticking to 5 rounds. You know how much I preach to you guys about low round count drills and everything else like that. So ideally, what we want to think about more than anything is when we get to a point where we can trust what we're doing with the weapon, 5 shots should not matter to us at all. I want to go through some Q&As every week. We actually take some of the stuff that comes from my Facebook. I get some from Facebook, but most of them are from my subscribers and non-subscribers from YouTube. So let me pull up the one that I picked out for this week. Let me grab my phone real quick. Oh, where is it? Here we go. This is from. Let's see here. This is from GTCIH 13 days ago. He asked this question. I'm getting a lot out of your videos. Thanks for making them. I'm shooting pretty good even at 15 yards. However, I notice that my green dot has been shaky. I'm 73 years old. Congratulations. I've been shooting for about a year. Is age factor? Is there something I should be concentrated on to correct this? No, there isn't. We all shake. I shake too. Age does not matter. When you actually have a red dot, it does not have to stay completely still. I think most people have a misconception that we're using the dot to aim with. We're not using the dot to aim with. 2 things you need to make sure, sir, is to make sure that your both eyes are open when you're looking through a red dot, and then you're focusing on the target itself and let the dot float. Now, if you're having that dot look very fuzzy to you, there could be some where you could do maybe get a pair of readers or something like that, make clear it up a little bit. I know when I don't wear my glasses, a red dot or a green dot is very fuzzy to me because I have astigmatism, and that causes me a lot of haziness when it comes to it. So that's kind of what I would tell you. If you're having real problems with shakes, I would try to make sure we're using our chest muscles to control the weapon and not squeezing hard with our hands. Remember, our hands are holding and controlling, but our chest is driving the weapon, sir. So I would recommend just kind of focusing on the target itself and let the dot float, because red dots are not designed for bullseyes. They're designed for quick acquisition. So you guys are using the dot as an aiming device. That's not the way to do it. But that was a good question. It's GTCIH from 13 days ago. Thank you very much. And he commented about the 5 simple tips you must know. Here's one from 5 days ago. Moses, 1973. I asked a couple people, but they didn't seem to know. So I'm asking you, why can I shoot faster, more accurately? If I don't line things up perfectly, it doesn't work. When I pull the pistol and quickly shoot it, I'm not half bad at 15 yards. Can you please explain this to me? Oh, by the way, I just subscribed. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate that very much. Now, he replied to the same comment that why 3 hacks for shooting fast, 3 hacks for accuracy. So this is what I'll tell you. When you are running the gun fast, you're not really thinking about a lot of stuff. And this allows us to be out there, got the gun out in front of us, and just cutting the shots. When we're trying to line everything up, that slows us down and makes our accuracy a little more challenging for us. So it's very common for people to shoot faster and cleaner when they're not thinking about everything. So I would recommend when you go to the range next time, just sort of like work on a trigger press versus a trigger pull, and try to work on getting it, keeping that weapon as level as possible. There's the key. Sights on a pistol are a convenience. So technically, if the weapon is level and you're engaging the trigger straight back into your hand, the weapon should stay level for us, and we shouldn't have much of a problem. Thank you very much for those questions. Guys, if you have a question and you want us to answer it for you, you can always email us, or go to our YouTube channel and ask a question there. But I want to remind you guys that we have a SpeakPipe now, and SpeakPipe is an app that we use, and you can ask a 90-second question from us. Speakpipe.com, John the Firearms Instructor. You go on there, it's going to open it up, it's going to give like a little a bar to allow you to ask a question. It's got to be it can be up to 90 seconds long. And when you have that question, then you put play push the button, record your comment, and then send to us. And each week we can look at these and open them up and play them for the masses. So we would love to answer any questions you guys have. We opened this channel many years ago to motivate, educate, and entertain. This is a passion of mine, and I would love for you to get the knowledge you need, and that's what we're here for, is answering questions and helping students. All right, let's get back to that. Speakpipe.com. John the Firearms Instructor. All right, guys. So let's get that off there. Boop. Get this one off here. Boop. Remove. Go back to me. Act like I know I'm doing with this sometimes. I really do. There we go. Yeah, so we have a great show for you this evening. What I've done in the last couple of weeks is I've been working with these beta group students. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it took 13 students coast to coast, because I'm working on a program or a course that people can work on their own time, and it gives them proper grip and proper stance and proper trigger control and proper sight picture and sight alignment. Not only do we have the course, but we have the videos that correspond with those, and they come right from our YouTube channel. The course, the book, we got a book that goes directly towards the master group. It's called Master Your Firearm in 4 weeks. We're going to start producing these for you guys to help you become more proficient. Not only do you get the ebook that comes with it, or the course book that comes with it, not only do you get the videos that come with it, but you get the overall playlist from YouTube that's there as well. And it's got a PowerPoint presentation that you're going to receive. On top of that PowerPoint presentation, you're going to have corresponding videos about grip, about stance, about trigger control, about sight picture, to give you the whole thing yourself, which is something that we're coast to coast right now. My furthest student in Washington State, and then we have some people in Boston, and we have all over the U.S. We have California, we have Missouri, we have Indiana, Ohio, and these guys are all working from their own ranges. They're sending me pictures, they're sending me videos. I'm looking at their targets. I'm giving them my opinion. They're getting a one-on-one with me each week to give them my suggestions and comments to get them more accurate. Every student in the last 2.5 weeks has increased their accuracy over, craziness wise, because we did a first test, just gave them the target, let them shoot, and they turned all those in. We had a lot of low and lefters. You know what a low and lefter is? It's when they shoot the bullet and it goes low and left. That's a large percent of the people, and we were able to get them pretty tight on it. And those those drills and techniques and everything else are proven because I've been doing it for 13 or 14 years and been getting brand new students that are shooting bullseyes already. Had a young lady this morning that never shot a pistol in her life, and she went out there, grabbed the Smith & Wesson equalizer, and was popping, 2-inch circles all day today from the first time she shot the pistol. So it's proven, it's tested, and it's been tested many times. If you can kind of work what I tell you to do here, you're going to be more proficient with a pistol. And the more accurate you are with a pistol, the more happy you're going to be. Let's get a comment up here. All right. So let's talk about this week's presentation. Let me get that up there for now because I want to just cover you. There we go. This week's presentation is how to train at the range without wasting ammo. Last time you went to the range, guys, comment below if you can for me. How many rounds did you run at the range the last time you went? Was it over 50, over 150, or was it more than 150 per session? Just give me an idea. I'd like to know. Are you tired of burning through expensive ammo without seeing real improvement in your shooting skills? In this session, we will break down the smart training techniques that will maximize your range time and make every shot count. That's good, Tezzy. That's good, man. 100 rounds, 200 rounds, Christo. 200 is probably a little much, but that's okay. I like to see somewhere about if you're shooting 5 rounds at a time, and this is kind of one of those things most people make the biggest mistake on, is they overload the magazine. And when you get to a point where you're putting too many rounds in the weapon, it becomes... Frank Perez comes up with the shot. 100 rounds, 5 shots at a time. Oh, Frank, you're trying to be sweet to me there, buddy. That's exactly what I want to hear every time, Frank. Thank you, buddy. 100 rounds, Frank says. 5 shots at a time. So my buddy David he's 27 years old, and he's out of Washington. He's not only a teacher, thank you, David, but he's a coach as well. And he's been shooting for about a year and a half. And he used to go to the range and run all kinds of rounds. He couldn't really find any kind of accuracy. He was just he was watching videos, and all of a sudden I popped up. And when he found about the beta group, he went ahead and signed a little, he hesitated at first because he wasn't sure how I could do this or how I could help him. He's positive now, man. He's doing some great stuff. What I was getting at with David would go to the range and run 100, 150 rounds. He showed me a video of his range. It's like going outdoors, you know what I mean? It's like out in the backyard. You just pull your truck up, get out of the woods and shoot. So he really doesn't have a range-like thing. But he was telling me the other day that he's been dry firing and live firing and using the same pressure. This is the biggest challenge for most people, is when you dry fire a weapon, you don't treat it as if it was loaded. You treat it as if it's not loaded, and you're not putting the pressure or the power in it. He could only get to about 75 rounds the other day before his forearms started cramping up. Now, he may have been putting a little more pressure than he should have on the gun, but you should have seen his target. He turned his targets in, and they were much improvement over the first week or the second week. How many of you guys, comment below if you can, how many of you guys are dry firing? How many of you guys are dry firing at least 20 to 25 rounds a week? Or how many of you dry fire before you go to the range, or when you're at the range, dry fire before you start your program? And this is one of those things that we want to talk about, because what you're looking to do is you're looking to create some kind of structure at the range and plan what you want to do before you get your first round out. How many of us that golf, I'm not a golfer, but I'm a hacker. But when I go golfing, I can tell you that if I can get a bucket of balls, I don't have to help shoot the whole bucket of balls, but if I could get some swings in, or I could get some chipping in, or I could get some putting in, I shoot a lot better golf score than coming out of the car, going into the golf cart, going up to the first tee, and just starting off. It's kind of real tough to be ready for that, if that makes sense. You just got to get some stretching going on. I'm a bowler. I won't say I'm a great bowler. My wife and my son. Matter of fact, Johnny Johnson, my oldest boy, 2 weeks ago, on Wednesday night, he shot his first 300. And that was, nobody was there. Mom wasn't there because we don't bowl on Wednesday nights. Jacob wasn't there. Johnny was there. And he sent me the video, said, "Hey, Dad, check out this fish I caught." And he showed me the video of him shooting the 300. Now, Johnny has an 800. Johnny has a 298, bunch of 299s, but had never shot a 300. So I said to Mr. Jacob, "Mr. Jacob, you think Johnny will shoot another 300 tonight?" This was on Thursday night. And damn it, that boy didn't do back-to-back 300s. One on Wednesday night, one on Thursday night. I was hoping he'd do the one on Friday, but he didn't get the one on Friday. So we're proud of John. Thank you. Love you, son. You did really well with the 300s. He's been bowling since he 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, and then did high school bowling. He was a captain of the high school bowling team here in North Fort Myers. And then Jacob bowled with him. And then he went to college with some bowling. It's just been part of his passion his whole life. He took 2 weeks off because he was really having a bad, crappy week. And then he went and bowled that 300. So we're proud of him. We're very proud of him. Sorry for taking off on that tangent, but when your son does something you're very proud of, you want to tell the world. So we need to create a structured plan. When dry firing, the key is to measure the fundamentals without wasting bullets. That's what dry firing is all about. But one of the key things is we just don't hold the gun and just dry fire. We need to make sure we're driving the weapon like it was a live pistol. And that helps us with the chest pull. You know, you men drive the weapon with your chest muscles. You women drive the weapon with your back. And when you're actually driving that weapon and controlling that weapon and you're feeling it, then the dry fire makes all the sense in the world for you. Our job really at the range is to analyze your shots and adjust for better accuracy. How many of you can be at the range and feel a bad shot? If you've been shooting for any time at all, you should be able to feel what a good shot feels like and what a bad shot feels like. And that's those aha moments that we talk about all the time. When you're doing something and all of a sudden, bang, it just hits you that, oh, I see what he was saying. I understand what was going on there. I see the weapon move. It made sense to me now. And that's kind of what we're looking for. And we want to put together some drills that we can use on a regular basis. How many of you have a program or some kind of system you do at the range? Or do you go up front, buy 200 rounds, take it in the back, grab a target, okay, and then from there, what are you doing? You're kind of like just shooting, right? Just shooting. And you're expecting something to be different. If you're doing the same thing over and over and over again, expect the same thing to happen over and over again. We need to do some adjustments. We need to move our grip. We need to move our stance. We need to move our control of the weapon. And that makes it easier and easier for it to make sense. Whether you're a brand new shooter looking to build skills without breaking the bank, or experience train more efficiently, this guide will help you shoot smarter, not harder. Make every round count and train with a purpose. Here are 10 tips that help you train effectively, at the range without wasting ammo. I want you to really think about the next time you go to the range. I want you to really think about putting 10 or less in the magazine. I would like to see 5 or less in the magazine. What it does for us, it gives us a rack, it gives us 5 sight alignments, 5 sight triggers with trigger engagements. We have all that stuff, so we can really work on the fundamentals. JP PhD, 20 rounds, 10 at a time. Club is low on ammo. Okay. So if you have 20 rounds and 10 rounds at a time, oh, okay, I got you. 20 rounds, man. Well, you could do what we did today. I'm dropping a video right now called the one-shot drill, and I'm going to talk about it here in a little bit. Because if you really think about it, if you have 25-round magazine or 50-round magazine, which bullet in the 50-round magazine is the most important? The first one. So I did a video today that's going to drop this evening after this. It's called the one-shot drill. It'll be on the playlist. It'll be there. You guys can watch it. And basically what it is, it's giving you the ability to put the round out in front of you and have confidence and ability to just put the one shot out there. It's a white piece of paper. There is no target on it. You're just going to put the weapon out in front of you, get it out, level the weapon out, get it in your horizontal line of your eyes, and cut the first shot. Then cut the next shot, and the third shot, and the fourth shot. And we have right-handed students work left to right. We have left-handed students work right to left, and you're going to go across that horse. Sort of like the line drill, but we put nothing on the paper. And then what we end up doing is wherever that bullet impacts, that's our target for the next bullets. I shot 25 rounds today in this video, and I showed you how I did it. My groups were decent, not great, but they weren't on top of each other, but I shot it fast, and I just wanted to see how it went. But we're going to show you that drill here in a few seconds. So it's not about putting 5 rounds or a string of rounds together. It's about being comfortable with the trigger engagement. So here's 10 tips for you that I think will work for most of you. Number 1 is have a plan before you go. Don't just show up at the range and start shooting randomly. Well, obviously, you're not doing that, but that's kind of what I wanted to put there. Set a specified goal, like improving trigger control, maybe working on sight alignment, or if you can get to a place where you can draw, maybe draw and get that first shot out. Don't do any drawing of a holster or anything else like that without having a proper technique and get yourself comfortable doing it. Some ranges allow you to, some ranges don't. You can always practice drawing your holster in the comfort of your own home by dry firing. If you're drawing or dry firing in your home, you need to make sure that you take all bullets out of the room you're working in. Don't even put your range bag in that room. If your range bag is in the bedroom, you need to go to the other side of the house. Make sure there's no ammo in the room, no magazines in the room. That way you're not having any accidental discharges or anything inside your home. You want to double, triple, quadruple check when you're dry firing in your home that the weapon is empty. Safety comes first, guys. You can't even think about it without making sure that gun's unloaded. Even though you know it's unloaded, you want to verify all the time. Check, 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 check. So ideally what we're looking for is that one drill that we want to work on first thing. Now, a lot of times what I do in the morning, I get here a little early, and it's kind of my little thing I do. Most of the time I'm doing some kind of video prep or something for the YouTube channel, and I'll go in the back and I'll run somewhere between 5 to 15 rounds every morning just for the purpose of doing it, just to get comfortable, because every day I'm doing training classes with students, and I just want to be able to be getting the trigger back, getting comfortable, and everything else like that. The more we can feel the travel of the trigger and get comfortable, the more we're driving with our chest muscles. My weapon doesn't move that much. Now I'm a little bigger guy than most people weight wise, but it's not about how big you are. It's not about how tall or short you are. It's about how you're controlling it. For men, controlling it with your back muscles, getting that proper grip, getting that grip where your hands completely around the weapon, 360 degree grip around the weapon. Very important for us to no crossing thumbs or doing anything that's going to have you bad grip. And then from there, driving that weapon with your chest muscles. All right. What I would tell you guys, and the greatest thing ever, is that you have one of these. You have a cell phone. And this is your training partner. What you need to do, and this is what I was telling all the students earlier today, yesterday when we did our class, get this, get it on a tripod, and let it help you and watch you do your grips. This is what I have the students do. They videotape themselves. They videotape their grip. They have someone help them videotape their grip. They videotape their shooting. When you get this behind you, you can see what you're doing with your head. You can see behind your grip. Tripods are very inexpensive now, and it's a good training tool for you to understand, because when you start visually seeing the pull or the press or the jerk or dipping your head when you shoot, a lot of people put the gun up in their line of sight, then dip their head to get to it. That's going to cause us to be low on a lot of targets. Or watching the anticipation that comes up once in a while. When you put 5 rounds in the gun, you think, and you only put 4. There's a lot of drills we can get you to get you understand that travel as much as possible. Okay, so at the range, we're going to start working on dry firing first. So one of the drills that we talked about earlier this week was the modified box drill. Now, this is the drill we've been using with the guys. I say guys, but we have one lady in the beta group, and we have the rest are men, so she's the brave one that sticks up with us. So here it is here. Now, by the way, guys, these are available. I will get you one of these. They are directly on our thing. And the idea of this is when we're dry firing, we have this drill that we called 5 dead and 5 alive. And it's 5 dry fires and 5 live fires. Now, when I had most of the students who did the beta group this week shoot this drill, they did phenomenal. They did phenomenal because it makes sense to them right off the bat. Let me show you what I'm talking about. All right, rubber gun, guys. This has no bullets in it. It is a rubber piece of plastic. You guys know it. I'm telling the powers to be that there's no way this can do anything. So what we're going to think about is this is a 6-inch circle, if you think about it. This is an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. And we use this drill an awful lot. Now, your target is the circle. But technically, in a realm of high defense situation, your target is 8.5 by 11, really. But most people, when they look at a pistol, if you look here, your barrel is below your line of sight. And most firearms is like that. I mean, it's just what it is. The sights are above the barrel. And if the barrel flew in a straight line, you have your line of sight and you have your bore axis. We need to adjust for that. Now, the manufacturers knew that, and the bullet is being impeded by gravity. So if we take the barrel and put it directly in the center of the target. I want you to see where your sights are now. If you leveled out the pistol, your sights would impact. If you had no pulling of the trigger, you did not do anything to manipulate the trigger in any way, your bullets would impact up in the high zone here. Because we're aiming higher than the center of the target. And this is called 6 o'clock hold. I want you to think about the center of this circle here. And I want you to put your sights in the center of that circle. So this is what the box drill does for us. It allows us to center our sights in the box and give you the proper alignment right there. Now, could you imagine how closer you'd be to the center of that target and hitting the bullseye, because we're aiming just a little below the bullseye, and this is the term we use. So this drill here, if you ran that pistol properly and you did not pull the trigger and you kept the weapon level, then all of a sudden now we're shooting right bullseye every time. Connect, 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 connect. And basically what you do is you aim in the box, and when you aim in the box, that's where the target's going to be, because you can put your gun in the box, obviously, but we're aiming our sight system in the box. And that helps us tremendously become a better shooter. Because what it does for us, guys, it gives us consistent point of aim. And when you have consistent point of aim, you're going to be consistent. The problem with consistency is if it's you're shooting low and left and you keep shooting low and left and you don't adjust, you're always going to shoot low and left. So you've got to know what to do to become more accurate. So before you even fire a live round at the range, just practice with a proper grip and a proper press without any ammo. You can do this at the range, guys. This saves you time, because once you start getting that trigger travel down, it makes sense. How far do I need to take this trigger before the gun goes bang? And if you understand trigger travel, that's the greatest thing ever, guys. Because at that point in time, there is no guessing. As a firearms instructor that shoots a shitload of pistols, because students bring them in every week, and they tend up having accuracy problems with them. And then I grab it, and I just kind of play around with it for a little bit and figure out where it travels, where it cuts. And once I figure out where it cuts, then I can tell the student, oh, by the way, you want to make sure you get it back 3/4 of the way. This will help us. This will help us get most of that slack out of that trigger. When I drive a pistol out for the very first time, all I'm doing is feeling how much that creep is in that trigger. If you shoot a Glock pistol, you know there's a tough trigger there. That trigger comes back. You know, it's truly only about 5.5 to 6 pounds, they say, but there's a lot of weight on the front side of that thing. Unlike if you take a Smith & Wesson equalizer, which is a very light trigger, and that's why most students shoot it well because of that. But at the end of it, each trigger has its own little creep or crap that you have to know and understand. So a good trick would be to dry fire. Okay, what's going on? Am I low here, Jake? I'm stalled for a second. Am I still there, Jake? All right, I'm sorry, guys. I lost you for a second there. Hopefully you all be here with me. Sorry about that. All right. So that's the first thing. Second thing is dry fire first. Save on bullets. Ensure you have good habits before live firing. Number 3 is slow down. Focus on accuracy. These 5-shot round counts are going to help us do that, right? Because every 5 shots, we need to figure out what the focus is on those 5 shots and make sure they work for our benefit. If you're shooting a target and you can't figure out what's happening to it, if you want to take a picture or something and send it to me, I can kind of give you an idea of what you're doing wrong with your weapon. Video would be better, showing your hands and showing the actual target itself, but the target actually can tell me an awful lot about where you're impacting and what's going on. There's a lot of problems with people who are right-handed and left-eye dominant. There are left-handed students that are right-eye dominant as well. And those become, slowing down and focus on accuracy is key. Avoid mag dumping. That mentality is not going to help you at all. Actually, it's going to build bad habits and bad flinching and bad effects. Take deliberate control of the shots and analyze each one. How many of you guys are analyzing your shots at the range, or are you just blowing them away? That's kind of one of those deals. Sometimes people want to just shoot, but at the end of it, it's better off to get a controlled focus, if that makes sense. Use smaller targets. This is one of those things we always talk about. Aim small, miss ball. What do you think? What do you think this is all about? What do you think this is all about? We're not aiming at the whole target anymore. We're aim small, miss small. That's the beauty of that. And helps us tremendously get focused better than we can. When we're aiming small, we are missing small, and we're getting the consistent point of aim. It's amazing when you take someone out in the range and you show them a small target, how tight their groups start to get, because now they're not focusing on the whole target. They're just focusing on a point of a target. Bonus tip here, black magic marker. Bring a black magic marker with you. When you get done shooting this drill, you can always take the black magic marker and mark off, thank you, Rodney, mark off what you shot for the next time. One of my beta students, John, he came to the range, had 5 different colored markers because he knew he was doing 25 rounds. He took 5 shots. He'd mark it red. The next 5 shots were green. The next 5 shots were blue. And he just kind of marked them off as he went. That way he had an idea. That way he has an idea of where he's impacting, so he can understand what's causing these little problems and issues. Guys, I am going to answer your questions. I don't want you to think I'm not answering, but I'm going to get through the presentation, and then I'll go back up and answer any questions. So don't think I don't see them. I am going to see them, but I want to get through the presentation, and then we'll go back and answer any questions that are there. So slowing down to focus on accuracy, using smaller targets. Smaller targets force you to be more precise. If you can hit a small target consistently, larger ones will seem easy. Yes, that makes sense to me. Okay, instead of emptying a full magazine, shoot 1 or 3 or 5 round strings. The 1-shot drill is a big drill that people don't do enough of. The 3 and the 5 are very easy. I like to do the 5 because most boxes of ammo comes 5 across, and you can just take the 5 across. The first 5 in the magazine are probably the most important anyways, so we want to make sure. This forces you to assess your accuracy and make adjustments between shots. What you need to start figuring out is the identification of a good shot and identification of a bad shot. And the more we can start doing that, the easier it becomes for us to solve the problems that are causing the inaccuracy in the first place. All right. Incorporate a ball and dummy drill. Now, I don't know if you guys know much about these, but they're pretty easy to do. You need a buddy or a pal. You need a couple of dummy rounds. You need a couple of dummy rounds. You need 2 magazines. Have your buddy load them. He's going to introduce a dummy round into the 4 other rounds that are live. And then when you go to shoot this thing, this dummy round's going to come up. And that's going to tell you what kind of flinching or anticipation you have when that dummy round comes up and you just shot 4 live ones or 2 live ones and it goes click. We'll see what kind of anticipation you have. We've all seen it multiple times. You're at the range and you think you have 5 rounds in there and you go to take that last shot and it clicks instead of fires, and then your weapon dumps on you a little bit. Well, it dumps on you like that, and when you're shooting real bullets, it's going to cause that bullet to actually shoot down or lower. So incorporating ball and dummy is a good opportunity for you guys to try to trick each other on where you're going to put it. It's a fun drill because it gets a little bit different than just boring just shooting. And it kind of works on some fun. You could do a point scale for each of you. Let's say you do 5 rounds or 10 strings at 5 shots apiece. That's 50 rounds. And then have your buddy mix up the dummy rounds in there. And then each bullet, each round, if you flinch, it costs you a point. You guys can do that as well. That's kind of a fun thing. I went to go tell you about your phone itself being a tracking system, but not only does it have a tracking as far as the phone goes, you can take pictures of your targets and all that stuff. There is actually, thank you, Howard, I appreciate that. This is actually, there's notes in here. I take notes all the time on my phone when I'm thinking about videos I'm doing or I see a title, a good title I think would work in my niche. I write all that stuff down. Makes it so much easier for you. You've got it with you. You carry it with you almost everywhere you go. Want to start using it as your assistant for you at the range to give you what you can take a picture of the target. You can actually write down what you did that day. And those journals are so valuable for you because at the end of it starts giving you that, oh, okay, I see. This shot here was there. That shot there was there. So now I can really tell, I'm getting a little pinchy on the finger. I'm rolling. I'm getting a good grip on the gun, but as I put my finger in the trigger and get further into the magazine, I keep rolling my finger in, which is causing the weapon to go to the left. And when you have that black magic marker, that tactical marker you want to have with you, you can write right on the target and tell you what you need. I got students to take these targets home and just store them. Just put them in. They fold them up, put them in, because it kind of gives them their the grade for the day. You know, you give yourself the grade for the day. Remember, you all got to be 1% better. I'm not asking you to be 100% better. I'm telling you, this time, this week here, when you go to the range, I want you to be better than last week. And I want you to be better than the week before. And most of the time, in this beta group, these guys are going 4 or 5 times better than they were. And that's the cool thing about it, because we're giving them the knowledge and the education to understand what's causing all these problems, that you can solve it. All right, track your shots. This is one of those things. Track your shots and adjust. Don't just shoot and move on. Don't do any Kentucky windages. Hey, man, I always shoot low and left, so I'm going to shoot high and right to hit the bullseye. Don't do that. Because the moment you do that and you start getting used to doing that because you're anticipating or pulling or jerking or doing whatever you're doing, and you Kentucky windage and say, okay, I know I shoot high, I shoot low and left all the time, so I'm going to probably work high and right. And at that point in time, that high and right's going to cause me to be more accurate. Well, that's what's going to happen. Thank you. That's not going to happen. You're gonna, one time or another, you're going to shoot the perfect pistol, you shoot the perfect shot, and there goes that bullet where someplace it shouldn't be. We can't Kentucky whinge in a defensive situation. We got to understand and trust our sight system and our sight alignment and all that stuff like that. Uh, you take time, study your targets, diagnose them, diagnose any issues, and make the corrections. Sometimes it's hard to make the corrections when you don't know what to do. But guess who's here for you and can help you through that process and educate you to give you the time you need to understand what's causing it. Watch these videos I do, guys. I try to give you as much knowledge as I can through the YouTube channel. That way you start understanding what's causing low and left, what's causing high and right, what's causing a high and left. There's a lot of things that it's never the pistol. Hardly ever the pistol. It's always the student and something they're doing to it. These firearms, right out of the box, are 15 times accurate will ever be, if that makes sense. So number 7 was track your shots. Number 8 is limit your round count. I don't know how many times I have to say this, but people who go to ranges and put 15 rounds in a 15-round magazine are along for the ride after the 5th round. There they just sit. And then it's forcing bad habits when you're trying to control that weapon. I said the other day in a drill assembly, I can control 5 rounds. It's very hard for me to control 15 because the weapon is running, the weapon is kicking, the weapon is recoiling, and it's just not something that most people can do for a long time. And what tends to happen is you can extend your fatigue a lot quicker by putting full shots down range 15 rounds at a time. And if we kind of look at those 350 rounds someone shoots that way, probably the best shots were the first 75, and the rest are just sucking up energy and recoil and everything else like that. The concept of this is making every round count. If we have that concept in our brain, instead of blasting away, we're going to be a lot more confident when we go to the range. Our job is to take this pistol, put it in our hand, aim at a target, and be somewhat close to that target, and have the confidence to know that I am going to be able to impact where I'm aiming this pistol. And this is one of those things that most people can't do because they're either pulling the trigger or jerking the trigger. Go to the range this week, be honest with yourself, put a white piece of paper up, put the drill, do the one-shot drill, put the gun out in front of you, and just slowly begin to cut the trigger. If that bullet impacts where you're aiming, well, you didn't do any manipulation of the pistol. But if you're aiming at your eye line up here, that's where the gun should be, not below your eye, up above your eye, right here. If you got your horizontal line there and you cut a shot and it's 2 inches below, 3 inches below, well, you did some manipulation of the pistol. And that's what causes most of our inaccuracy of the pistol. And it could be you dumping your head. It could be you anticipating. It could be putting too much finger in the gun. It could be over torquing with your non-dominant hand versus your dominant hand, vice versa. There's a lot of stuff that can happen. Using a shot timer for efficiency is one of those things. Now, I wouldn't want you to get too far into shot timers until you know that you're comfortable. Shot timers helps us become more proficient, and they make us go faster with a pistol, but we don't want to be too fast with a pistol. There's the thing called speed versus accuracy. If I can hit a 3-inch circle at 5 yards, and the bullets are touching each other, I mean like a clover leaf, then I'm probably shooting way too slow. But if I keep them all in the 3-inch circle, and I shoot as fast as I can, well, that's pretty accurate. But if I shoot as fast as I can, and out of 3 bullets, only 1 hit the 3-inch circle, well, I guess I need to slow down a little bit. and work on what's happening because the fundamentals need to be there. The grip, the stance, the trigger control, the sight picture, the sight alignment. It isn't about speed, it's about confidence. It's about accuracy. And that's kind of what the range time is about. Because if you really think about it, guys, a defensive shooter has an 8-inch paper plate as his target. If I take an 8-inch paper plate and put it on anybody's chest, that's a pretty damn big target. In a large percentage of people, if I put you out at 15 yards and put an 8-inch paper plate in your chest, or a chest like that, most people will shoot low in the paper plate. They will not hit center of the paper plate. I do this for a living, guys. I can tell you, out of 15 students, 25 students that say they know what they're doing, majority of the time they pull the trigger and manipulate the pistol. So they don't have the confidence to know, or they miss the paper plate at all, or they're low to left the paper plate. Those are all things that happen. So we don't come to the range and start at 15. We start at 3. Once we conquer 3, then we go 5. I'm talking yards here. Then when we get to 5, we go to 7. And once we conquer 7, then we go to 10. And those are the distances. Actually, 21 feet is probably the one thing that most people, once you get past 21 foot, it's kind of hard for, in the realm of shooting kind of deal, to be accurate with a pistol, especially in a high defense situation. Chances of bad guy hitting you at that distance, because they don't get to train, versus you guys that do get to train, you're going to be a lot more proficient at those distances than a bad guy. All right. So shot timer works once you get comfortable. Shot timers help you measure your draw speed. You can't draw until you're ready to draw. It prevents mindless shooting. It adds structure to your session. Now, you don't need to go out and buy expensive timers. I would not go out and buy expensive timers. There is a shot clock timer on your iPhone or on your app. All you have to do is download it. Turn it on, and it'll help you get those splits you're looking for. Again, we need to crawl before we walk, so don't get too carried away with that. But there are available. People come to these classes. People come to these lives that have been shooting an awful long time. They're just looking to tighten up the groups. And then number 10, I think this is so important for you, most people, is end your session with a purposeful drill. Sorry about that. Purposeful drill. In other words, end with something good. End with something you can leave with and have confidence and go out high-fiving, versus putting the target all the way out to 35 and missing half your targets. If you need to, bring that bitch all the way into 3 yards again and work on the one-shot drill. Wrap up your range session with a slow fire accuracy drill. Reinforced fundamentals leave you with a sense of progress. By following these 10 tips, you'll train smarter, not harder, and maximize every round fired. Let me know if you want a printable PDF of these tips. I can send that to you. If you want one of these targets, I can send that to you. So, in conclusion, train smarter, not harder. Shoot more rounds. Shoot more rounds doesn't always mean better training. Training with a purpose does. By following these strategies, you will maximize your range time, improve your accuracy, and makes every shot count without wasting ammo. So remember, have a plan, focus on quality over quantity, use dry fire practices, incorporate structured drills, and track your progress. With the right approach, you'll train smarter, save money, and become more confident and an accurate shooter. Keep practicing, stay safe, and make every round count. Okay, that was pretty good there. I can tell you there's a few drills that I want to cover with you real quick, and they are pretty easy to do. I just want to give these to you, and this is the PDF. If you guys want it, just let me know. We'll get it out for you. Uh, the first drill, these are smart drills without wasting ammo. These drills are designed to help you maximize your range time and improve accuracy without wasting and focuses on precision, not volume. The one-shot drill: load one round in your magazine, and then you're going to impact the targets left to right if you're right-handed, right to left if you're left-handed, and put right to shot, 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 shot. That's going to give you your target. Then you're going to try to impact the same hole again. And if you can keep your bullets all within a certain area, let's say 2-inch to 4-inch circle, then that's solid for you. You want to do this drill 3, 4, 5 times, 5 shots at a time. It works out really well. White target, grab it, put it up, start left. If you're right-handed, cut the first shot, cut the second shot, cut the third shot, cut the fourth shot, and we're going right to left. Those should be in your line of sight or just below your line of sight. But if they're really below your line of sight, then you're doing some kind of manipulation of the trigger. I physically shot this today, first thing this morning, around 7:45. 2 sips of coffee before I did it. I'm going to blame it on it. I did not have a good horizontal line. I had a decent horizontal line, but not a good horizontal line. But once I cut it, I went back, used my waist to aim the weapon, not my wrist, and was able to keep them all in a 3-inch circle. That video is dropping this evening if you want to take a look at it. Awesome, awesome drill. You could do the same thing with a 3-shot count as well. That's a 3-shot accuracy drill. Fire 3 shots slowly and deliberately. The whole idea of this is to get that trigger back in a slow cadence. That's going to help us feel each movement of the trigger. These are great drills to help us feel any kind of manipulation we're doing on the weapon itself. The ball and dummy drill is another good drill to see what anticipation or accuracy is going for. Here's the 10 tips to maximize your 3-round accuracy drill. Start with a proper stance and proper sight alignment, sight trigger. Grip the gun very firmly without over torquing it. Focus on your sight alignment, sight picture. Yes, yeah. Follow through each shot. That's the one thing people tend to have a problem with is follow through. So they'll have the weapon out in front of them. They'll shoot the last shot. And what do? They drop their arms, look over the weapon to see where they're impacting. If you trust your weapon and you trust yourself, you don't have to look. You know exactly where those bullets are going to be. You don't have to focus. You don't have to guess or wonder, did they impact where I want them to, or did they go somewhere totally different? If you have to do that, then you've got some trigger issues you need to work out, some grip issues you need to work out. Take your time. Accuracy matters more than speed in this drill. Use a consistent point of aim. Hit the box. The box drill itself is a good drill for you to be comfortable with, and that's not something you have to physically download from us. You can make anything. Take a circle, put the crosshairs on there, and put the box running into the crosshairs. You know, I'm going to tell you that most people who are new to shooting hold their breath when they shoot a pistol. It's kind of one of those things, you're getting through all the intensity that's happening to them. When I work with a student, I build the recoil up on the weapon so high that when they fire it, it's a letdown for them. They were expecting to kick more. Instead of me babying them down here, go, oh, by the way, this is going to not kick at all, and then it kicks, and they have an issue with it, right? So if you're driving the weapon, gentlemen, with your chest muscles and getting a decent grip with the weapon, you're going to control that firearm where you will not get any muzzle flip. But if you let your hands try to control the weapon and not use your chest muscles to drive the weapon, you are not going to control it the way you need to. And that's where you get those high shots, low shots, right shots, left shots. When you're shooting a pistol, watch any of our videos. Watch what the weapon does. It stays almost perfectly still. We're shooting a pistol. It has some recoil, but it does have muzzle flip. And muzzle flip causes a lot of inaccuracy to happen. So you want to drive that weapon as much as possible. You can, gentlemen. Women, it's all about your back muscles. It's bouncing on your knees, getting the weight to your toes, and driving out with your dominant hand and pulling back with your non-dominant hand, which is going to work your back muscles, which will allow you to control the weapon a lot better than you would believe. If you want to have someone test you on that, which I do with all the ladies that come to the range, is I have them push and pull test, and then I lift on the front of the firearm and get them to lock their wrist out as much as possible. And once you lock your wrist out, you're not going to get a muzzle flip, and you're going to have complete control. When you get done with these drills, you want to analyze them. You want to figure out what's right and what's wrong, and repeat it over and over and over again until you just feel more comfortable. And I told you about the ball and dummy drill already. So these are the drills that I would recommend. You need to work on a smart range practice, not a ammo wasting practice. And you tell me, are you practicing good range time, or are you just going to the range and blasting ammo? So let's go up top here and answer a few comments. Christo, thank you very much for being here from Massachusetts. Very, very cool, man. Galvin24, good to go. Miss Johnson was on here today. Tezzy, all good. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you. I'm praying. Tesvi Vernon, all good. Thank you, Tesvi, for being here. Okay, Christo, I will let you know about that. I'll send you something. When this goes live on YouTube, there'll be a link in the descriptions below for you to hook up and get the Florida concealed information. Thank you for being interested in that. Rob Barner, he had to go let the dogs out. He'll watch it the rest later. Okay, cool. Christo shoots about 200 rounds. Tez V. Vernon, he does about 100. Frank Perez is trying to get extra credit, so he does 100 rounds at 5 shots at a time. He's been listening to class a lot. Christo just bought a 1911. Very nice. I asked about dry firing. Christo says not much at all. You can see where that's going to be. Okay, Tesvi says, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, buddy. I apologize about that. Tesve Verna says at the range, he does before he loads his first magazine. I love that, man. That's awesome. JPPHD says 20 rounds, 10 at a time. The club is low on ammo. Sorry to hear that, buddy. Rodney. Hang on a second. Oh, okay. Yeah, Rodney says, just the 5 has helped me out a lot. I was shooting high and left. Now I'm in the middle. Still have a couple flyers. Watch the flyers. The flyers normally come from loose grip. The flyers come from losing concentration on something or not having a good follow through, my friend. So if you want to make sure that weapon is level all the way through the shots, that'll make a big difference, Rodney. Congratulations on getting in the middle, man. That's a good feeling, isn't it? That is a good feeling. Okay, so JPPHD asked about the distance. Now, I shoot most of my students at 3 yards. If you can conquer this at 3 yards, then you can move out to 5. But I want to see not one bag. I want to see 4 or 5 mags. That box should be busted up pretty bad. That box should be busted up pretty bad. Hang on one second. Let me show you something. Just kind of show you one of the guys the other day that was doing this. And this kind of gives you an idea. You see how he's got his mark. It's hard to see it, but this is one of the guys that was telling about the matter. But look at that box right there. That is a 25 round group here. And he's got them all in the circle because these are actually on the cut here. And he got a little lazy there with the trigger that was causing the little left stuff. This is kind of what we're looking for. Nothing up top, all the way where it needs to be. And that's kind of what we're looking for. But you can do what distance you're comfortable with, sir. But I would start at 3. If I conquered all 3, got 25 rounds in this box, then at that point in time, you can move on to the further distances. But as I always say, you do you, boo. You know, the more we can get control of the weapon, the better we're going to be. Okay. Boom. Hope that helped you. But at what distance with the box drill? I mean, do you have to adjust the height for more? No, not really. Not really, because basically if we're putting this in our line of sight, one of the things I'll tell you, that center line that's on this target, and this is one of the challenges most people do, is they look at a target that has that X in the center of the guts. You know, the one that gets a white target that's got the black circle with the red X in it. That's not in the center mass chest. That's more where it needs to be. So what we want to do is take this line right here. This line right here. This line right here. And make sure that's in our line of sight. So if I'm putting this up, I'm 5'6". This is going to be right around the 5 foot area, right? It's going to be just above my nose and right in my line of sight. And I personally put this up that height because that's where it's going to be the best impacting for me. When I put this below my line of sight, that's when I have to start using my waist to aim the weapon and not the wrist to aim the weapon. And that causes a lot more inaccuracy as well. So like the line drill we talked about many weeks ago, which is on our YouTube channel, the line drill, that line is actually, let me get up here if you can see me. The line drill is put right here in your line of sight. And that's where the line has to be. So what we do there is we take the black magic marker, draw me a black line, and try to impact that line with a bullet. Now, if you hit that line or shoot a little bit above that line, then that tells you 100% that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. But if you're impacting below that black line, then you're manipulating the pistol some way. You could be dumping your head with the weapon. You could be pulling the trigger. You could be jerking it. There's a lot of stuff you could be doing, but every one of these things can be solved by understanding the trigger press. The trigger is the thing, is the effect of the pistol. It's the one thing that controls more accuracy than anything else. That's why we spend so much time educating you guys on this stuff. Speaking of education, guys, don't forget our ebooks. We have our ebooks on sale right now for $2.99. All you have to do is go in the descriptions below in this live. There is a link to my store, my ebook store. I'm going to give you an ebook for free just for showing up at this thing this evening. What the book's about? They're about grip, stance, trigger control, sight picture, sight alignment. We've taken them and put them in a little ebook, downloadable, easy for you to read. Very simple, very easy. All you got to do is put one of the books in the cart, put free book at checkout in the coupon, and you're going to get the book for free. And then if you want to add a couple more, they're only $2.99. They're on discount from the regular retail $3.99. They're a great read. I stopped again for some reason. Come on. They're a great read. So in my opinion, you should put a couple more in the book and in the cart, and it wouldn't hurt my feelings at all. So I would appreciate that. And that's free book at checkout. Howard, thank you very much for the comment. He says this is great teaching. Rodney Mullis, that's the truth. Thank you, Rodney. Appreciate you very much. Thank you, John. Can you send me a PDF of these 10 tips? You can, buddy. I can. I'll send it to you later on this evening. And Tesvi, thank you very much. Guys, it's been a great evening. I think it's going to be a great evening. I'm getting a little bit of internet problems. Hope you had a great evening. I appreciate you very much. Don't forget about the concealed carry coming up. Don't forget about the descriptions. All this stuff will be in the descriptions below. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can always send me a comment through our YouTube channel, or you can always use the John at firearmstrainingbyjohngjohnson.com. That's our email. Or you can always call me as well. I love to talk to you guys. You're part of our team. I appreciate you very much. If that's it, we have one more comment here. Looks like we've got a few more comments. Christo, thank you very much. I will practice the push and pull. Thank you, sir. Yep. I'm going to start trying firing more. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Really appreciate the copy of the PDF. Thank you, Howard. Christo. Well, until next week, guys, God bless. Be safe. And remember, you are your first line defense. Watch for that drop this evening on that one-shot drill. Let's get that video rolling hard. I appreciate you very much. You guys are really, really, really important to me, and I appreciate you very much. You don't know how much. Thank you for being here this evening. Good night.